Nightmare of Decay, another indie horror game which will try and capitalize on the old Resident Evil games just in the hopes that it somehow imitates the feel and atmosphere. Here we go again. Nightmare of Decay has no right to be as much fun as it was. I originally was going to do a short video on it, but I ended up completing the game in one go. You can easily do this too, on normal in about 90 minutes. Once you do complete the game, you have a few new modes to play, which will unlock new weapons for the story mode when you complete those too. Now, what is this game? Well, as I'm sure you've already seen, it's all the Resident Evil games put in a blender, with a sprinkle of supernatural spooks, a dash of demonic disturbances, and a pinch of Monty Python. Yet it all fits. Even if the game looks like an incredibly generic indie game, it's far from it. As far as the difficulty goes, it's pretty easy on normal. I died once because I got tricked by a gun, as I'd never used it before, and it had a very unique trick. Ammo is pretty generous too, so you don't need to be too conservative. I killed all enemies I stumbled upon, and still had ammo and dynamite left over after beating the final boss. One thing I didn't like, however, was the stamina bar. It depletes way too quickly and recovers way too slowly. The only reason why I feel the developer added this was to lengthen the game artificially. There's nothing wrong with the game being short, as long as it's fun, but this stamina gauge leaves a sour taste in your mouth. There are a bunch of funny elements to the game too, with some clever writing and some dark humour mixed in. Overall, I was hugely impressed with Nightmare of Decay. Easily worth playing, especially given how cheap it is. It's better than 90% of other indie games you're likely to play on Steam right now. Seriously, go give it a try, even if the main screenshots look terrible. You will enjoy yourself if you love any of the Resident Evil games. This game had no right being as fun as it was. Like, no right at all. For something that looks just silly, it really does capture all of the fun elements of the old Resident Evil games, and a little mixture added of the new Resident Evil games. Like, I honestly don't know how it managed to do it in such a goofy way, and yet include a lot of funny writing, just funny moments, and honestly memorable characters for me. Even if I stumble over my words, yes, the characters are still memorable. It's just one of those things that should not exist. And if it does exist, it'll be extremely mediocre. However, I really enjoyed my time with this game, and I'm sure you will too. It's just one of those things that really does capture what made the older horror games fun and brings it to, a more modern stage, even if the graphics still look old. But still, it is definitely worth checking out, and I easily recommend you give it a try.